Like
Yeah. For you,
most men believe that women don't deserve what men have, and they should be.
correct.
But now it's somewhat changing, and a lot of that happened to be with Kobe Bryant. He was a big, strong person with female basketball, and from
Correct.
the youngins to the WNBA. Then Tom Brady got into.
Through the money, designer the drip. Don't got a cap, I'm as real as it get. Bet on myself and I tripled the flip. Came from the streets, I'ma stick to the script. We popping bottles like we win a trip. Rather fill up accounts than empty a clip. 10 on the ground, so I never slip. They love you, they hate you, I'm watching them switch. Switch, 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 switch. They hate you, they love you, I'm watching them switch. Switch.
You already know what it is. It's your boy Kenzo the Great. Chance, you already know I'm here. We always here. We've been working today. Y'all don't know we've been working today. Go check out the Wrestling Behind the Curtain, Wrestling's Behind the Curtain on YouTube if you love wrestling, because we just dropped like 4 episodes. You want to check that out. But right now we hear about this. Like saying, so like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, get the merch, join the Patreon, all that good ish. Subscribe, hit that subscribe. I'm talking fast like Kenny did. Let's go. We're gonna make this quick so you can get you in and out. I made a reel about Caden Clark. Y'all go check that out. Y'all should have, because we got a couple of views. Go check that out. But me and Kenny, we're gonna expand on that more in the WNBA a little bit. But first off, shout out to the WNBA. Make sure you watch. Make sure you support. Show them some love. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be full transparent right now. I wasn't really watching it. You know what I mean? I knew about Sabrina. I knew about the Candace Parker. I knew about all the swoops and all that. But I never really watched it. I knew of it, didn't really watch it. Not gonna say Caitlin got me there, but she might have got me there because I started watching college because of her. I'm saying, so props to you. So that's probably why I have a dog in the fight. That's why I'm going with Indiana and I'm going with the Aces because Kelsey Plum. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna let Kendall take it over real quick, and I'm gonna jump in because you already know my stance. Shout out the real. Go ahead.
I actually wasn't going to do this, but since you did your little background on WNBA, I thought about mine. It's actually kind of funny. I was actually a Miami Soul fan, which is the WNBA team that used to be here before I was a Heat fan. Because back in the day, before the Soul left, my dad used to take me to games, and I wasn't a Heat fan yet. Back in the day, I was a Kobe fan, so I was a Laker fan. Until Dwayne Wade came over to the Heat, and he got a little better, and they actually let me watch the home team for real. But at the time, the home team was the Miami Soul, and in 2002 they actually left. So right when they left is exactly when the Heat kind of started getting better too, which is funny enough. So I've been watching WA most of my life. I actually didn't watch college basketball until fairly more recently, like 4 or 5 years ago. But I will say a lot of people don't watch it, and that's okay. But again, I'm just one of those dudes. I love sports. I watch women's soccer, I watch women's basketball, I watch NFL, everything. And a lot of sports I don't watch. So when people have things to say about W, I kind of get it. But here's my thing, right? If you're watching a sport and you know it's different and you take it for what it is, because it's not like it's a different sport, it's still basketball, but obviously the style of play is different. But if you look at it, it's funny. A lot of things people used to complain about with the W, it's not physical enough, or none of them could dunk. Did you see the dunk contest this year for the NBA? We got people who could do in-game dunks in their five, but none of them dudes in the dunk contest. Like, dunking is not the most important. Yes, people still love Anthony Edwards because that boy could go up there. They love Josh, stuff like that. But the best player in the league, in my opinion, Joker. Ain't nobody caring about that boy dunking out. That boy, he got some inside game, but for the most part, he like everybody else in the league. Everybody can shoot now, which in the W has been for a while. Everybody can shoot, everybody can dribble because you got to get your handle off. Did Clay Clark bring more eyes? For sure. We're not gonna have to lie about this.
She broke every record.
Yes, that's cool. It's no problem with that. She did. She brought more eyes. So now you here. So now that you here, not you. Obviously. The people who watch it.
But before they hear, let me ask a general question for somebody that just got here.
Okay.
It might be a dumb question, but I'm still going to ask it. What's the reason the ball is different?
The ball is different. The same reason. This is good. I don't want to sound insensitive, but it's the same reason why they call it the NBA ball. Just same way for football. Same way for NBA to NCAA. They just have different things. They want different parameters. There's no real reason why we shouldn't have the same football in NCAA to NFL. There's no real explanation.
So they would just separate.
Exactly. It's just like the ABA had their little different ball, just like the 3-point line was different distances before they recently changed it. A lot of people don't know. When Larry Bird was a sniper, the 3-point line he was shooting from is farther back than the 3-point line that they shoot from now. People don't know that, but do your research, you'll find it. So that's really one of those, like, I guess if you want to be mathematical about it.
Do you like the ball that color, or would you rather have it?
I don't think the ball color. I think it's slightly smaller, which is one of those arguments people make. But I don't think it actually matters because on average, the women's players are smaller than the men's players. Their hands are smaller, so the ball's a little smaller. The color thing, I mean, it depends. I think
I know it sounds dumb, but do you feel like it would bring more men eyes if
I don't know about the ball, but I do think the court. I do think the way they do the courts, it depends. Again, that just depends on person to person. Because we say the same thing about the in-season tournament we had this year with the NBA. A lot of people really liked the courts. A lot of people thought they were eyesores.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I have a friend. She's a woman. She doesn't watch basketball the way she watches football, but she knows I know sports. So she'll text me and she's like, "Why the courts kind of look cartoonish?" Because she just started watching the W and she knows I already watch. And I never thought about it like that because again, it's just a court. A lot of time, here's the thing, right? With the W, you gotta be noticeable, right? But also, a lot of times, it's not your own arena. So you got to be able to come in and put that paint down that's noticeable and it's there, and it can be able to be taken up for whoever the home team or whatever it is, or if you're sharing it. So I do think that's one element. I do think the courts, but again, it's just, I don't think if you're watching the sport, that's what you should really focus on. It's just, I mean, it's a small complaint, but yeah.
I think some of the courts should have an upgrade.
No, for sure. The thing is,
but I also think it's kind of what you said. Since nobody was watching, there wasn't
exactly. That's what I'm about to say. Like,
it's
just getting the eyes. You wasn't gonna put money if no one was coming into the. I mean, again, I think the Indiana Fever, especially partially because of Caitlin, but because they have the Pacers, but there's less things to do in Indiana in general. So places like that, I think WNBA should really thrive. Some people say they should have rigged the draft so that Caitlin shouldn't have went to Indiana. I think that was the wrong move. I'm just happy they didn't rig the draft. I hope that they let her go there because yes, it's not LA or blah 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 blah, but at the same time, it's like she's bringing eyes. And now you've seen they haven't won a game, and now you're seeing who they've been facing. And the Fever have it's 12 teams, so everyone faces everyone.
So
but the Fever's schedule to come out has been crazy.
So this is crazy. They say that I keep on cutting you off. My bad. So they say the WNBA has been out since 1996. Is that 1997?
97 was the first year of the W. Before that, they played overseas or whatever. Yeah, we didn't have a professional WNBA until 97.
And it took this long for it to.
So yeah, the swoops you talk about, we know about those being played. Like I think Cheryl Swoop might have been the first MVP ever of the W. I think by the time it came around, it's like stuff like that. So 97. League younger than me, and we always joking how many young guys in the squad. The league is literally younger than I am,
which is crazy.
So,
I'm just saying, it's been out so long that. Now casuals are starting to come along, and we're talking 97.
Yeah,
so that's what 16, 17 years, something like that. Quick
27 years. That's 27.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like this though. We want to look at it another way, right? 1992, USA hosted the World Cup. They only missed the only World Cup. I'm talking about the men's here because the women's is a whole other thing. The women's actually did the right thing. The men did the wrong thing. But let's stick on the men's side. 1992, USA hosted the World Cup, and that was when the MLS also started. That was their expansion into let's be good. Well, if Rook was here, he could tell me just as well as I can. USA, yeah, we only missed 2018 World Cup, but if you want to think of the grand scheme of things, right now it's probably the best the USA has ever been. They made it out of the group in the World Cup. They just passed. Right now, think about it. 1992, they have been investing into this country's soccer program. And until right now, it wasn't the time where it's really shown any fruits. Have we had good players? Yeah, sure, but nowhere near as many good players as we do right now. I would argue. Old heads might argue with me, but I'm talking about. I don't think so. So I think it's similar with the W. It's like, has there been good product now? But it just hasn't gotten to this point. I do think with social media helps a lot. So now we have no reason to not see it. And I'm gonna say something that I probably wouldn't say, but most places. But I'll be honest. We got to be honest here. That's what we do on Be Yourself. The women who play in the WA now are more attractive. That is.
Yeah,
objectively true, and that objectively helps people. Okay, no one cares how ugly the Kim and Tumble is when you watch in the NBA, but when you talk about the WNBA, first of all, for men, because we're men, we like to see what we want to see. So, bam, now you want to talk about the women look better than they did 20 years ago. That's just my opinion. You could say I'm wrong.
It also leads into what I was going to say about Mel anyway, which you did a good alley oop to. Is we also live in a world where shit is changing now because men basically don't want women to have shit. Not us, but what I'm saying.
Yeah, for you.
Most men believe that women don't deserve what men have and they should be
correct.
But now it's somewhat changing, and a lot of that happened to be with Kobe Bryant. He was a big, strong person with female basketball, and
correct.
From the Youngins to the WNBA. Then Tom Brady got into with the Aces and shit, and so now more men and Jason. Is it Jason Sadiscus? What is his name?
I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. Buddy from what's that show called? Ted Lasso. Yeah,
he's a big Caitlin Clark fan, so he's been to the NBA.
Yeah.
So now we have more men saying, "Yeah, you should be watching this." So that also helps as well. But that tied into basically being males being, somewhat pigs, whatever. Like, well, I watch it now because they look good.
Well, that was half of what I was saying, but another part is, well, let's think about it. If you thought, only okay, again, don't this is not the truth, but this is how it was perceived. If you said only lesbians and ugly girls play basketball, that means the pretty girls who could have played basketball decided, oh, well, I'm not ugly or a lesbian, I'm not gonna play. That stigma is gone. So now you literally even have more people also playing because now you got people like, oh, I wouldn't have played that. That's a man's game. It's an ugly girl game. Now, no, I don't care if I look good or how my nails done. You got the Bayou Barbie. Like, what you mean? You got Angel Reese, who she a model and she a basketball player. You gonna tell her she not a type? So that element is gone. At least again, I could be wrong, but it's a perception. As a person who's been watching this whole time, and I've heard like, oh, who want to watch this play? Who want to watch those lesbians play? And again, I don't care what your sexual orientation is. I'm watching basketball. You think everyone in the NBA right now is straight? No, it's just nobody has come out of the closet yet. That's all it is. And again, I just don't care. It got nothing to do with me. So which leads me into my next thing as far as talking about evolution with the WNBA. Why people didn't know that Caitlin Clark was going to struggle. And again, when Diana Taurasi said it, a lot of people were saying, oh, she hating, she an old head, blah, blah, blah. She was trying to warn this girl. The W ain't sweet. Understand. There are 12 teams in the W. 12 roster spots per team. That's 144 roster spots.
Which means they is nice.
The Fever are the worst team in the league. We've established that. They haven't won. They were the worst team last year. That's why they got number one pick. And 2 years ago, I believe they had the number one pick as well. That's how I had Aaliyah Boston. This is the worst team in the league. They have 5 All-Americans. The worst team in the league. And they might have more if they have 2 foreign players, which is, again, they can't be All-Americans because they're not from here. Mm-hmm. But let's move that up to 6. 6, that's half the team is All-American. Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Samson, and Aaliyah Smith. That's 5 All-Americans on the worst team in the league. What you think is going to happen when they go play Vegas and everyone on the team is an All-American from whether it be first team, second team, third team. And mind you, I didn't even look at second team, third team. I just named 5 All-Americans on the Fever, all first team.
That's what I said.
All recently,
that's what I said. What'd you expect? Like they just played the Suns and the Liberty. Like they didn't play 2 scrub teams.
They didn't play themselves. I mean, they are the scrub team, unfortunately for them. But again, even them, again, the worst team, them have 5 first team All-Americans. Come on now. Like, I thought she was going to come in and just again. And I will say, that's my next thing. Now, the Fever. I'm not. When it comes to basketball in general, I'm not the way I am with football when it comes to coaching. I just don't know basketball coaches. I mean, I've had Spo and Pat Riley most of my life, Heat fan, and I just never been into, what's the next coach coming up? Because I've been secure in that. It's like I'm like a Steelers fan in football. They only have like 3, depending on how old you are, you probably only know Mike Tomlin as your coach or the coach they had before that because they only had 3 coaches basically in their whole history, and they the Steelers. So similar thing with me. I don't really know too much about coaches, but I will say, whoever the Fever coach is, they have, yes, you have Aaliyah Boston, but if I'm not wrong, Caitlin Clark is your star now. You don't think you should, gear the offense towards her? Because I don't see Caitlin.
That's also a thing that I was saying is I don't think they know what their offense is yet. Because when the first game that I watched them play, granted she's new, they're trying to figure shit out. They looked like they were like used to putting the ball down low to Boston, and they didn't really know how to get Clark involved. Because if you watched her in college, she likes to dribble, she likes to make her own shit, and then boom, buckets. So she looked like she was lost. Like, well, the offense is going through Boston. How the hell am I going to be me? So that's one thing. 2,
right.
like we said, they're on the worst team. So, I mean, 3, it ain't sweet up in the WNBA. It ain't going to be what it was in college. It ain't going to just be logo in it. But I think she's going to get together. But anyway, I was just trying to cap on what you said. So keep going. My bad.
So she for sure going to get better. I just want people to not get. Again, I'm not some type of spokesperson for the WNBA. They ain't hire me. I mean, they could if they want to. I got multiple hats I can wear. Social media press, whatever you want to be. We could talk. Y'all see the channel. But I've never been one of those people. Oh, watch my sport. If you want to hate on the sport, I'm watching. That's got nothing to do with me. I really don't. I mean, I'm not asking. I'm not begging for eyes. I'm watching it regardless of how many other people watching. I've been watching soccer. Listen to my American friends tell me soccer boring. Ended up scoring. And I've been playing soccer since I was 7 years old. You can't tell me a sport I watch and play is boring. I don't care. But at the same time, it's like you were interested. You saw Caitlin Clark play. Again, not you. I'm talking to you two honest. You saw her play. You saw her call. You saw her dominate. You don't want to see if she'll ever get to that again. You already say, oh, she'll flop after 4 games. Like, keep watching. Like, especially for me, the W has time. The time the W are on, more times than not, the only other sport on is baseball. Again, I watch baseball, but they don't be on with other basketball is on. If you still like basketball like that, you want to watch basketball, there goes the W right there for you. And I'll be like, oh, again, Caitlin Clark not playing good. So you tell me, when you was watching Kobe play, you wanted Kobe to have a good game every game. No, you want to see if anybody going to ever stop him. The answer is no, but we would like to see the challenge again. So now it's the opposite.
Yo, that's my man's. Let's not forget airball Kobe.
It happened. Like my man's wasn't perfect.
It went always sweet.
But think about it. Now we're working in reverse. Now you seen Caitlin Clark be a dog. Now you want to see if she ever get back to that. Who's gonna be the first person who she dropped 30, 35 on? Man, I know certain people, again, a lot of people who thought that Diana and Tarsi was haters, they went and circled that game to see when Caitlin Clark and Diana Tarsi face each other, what's gonna happen. I mean, I'm interested in that. Again, there's no reason for y'all to just stop turning it. Oh, okay, well, I've got enough of this. Again, the summer is coming. NBA almost done. WNBA gonna be right there for you.
The ratings for her games is crazy.
Oh yeah. People watching, but I'm saying don't turn them off. Keep watching. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. What else you got to watch?
You might find your team like that. You might be, let me see what Kenny talk about, and then you say, damn, these aces. God, hey. Again, shout out to Chicago Sky. That's my team. I've had them for a little minute, but this year for sure, got Cardoso. You got injuries.
I mean, I got East Coast. I got East Coast, West Coast. You know what I'm saying? I got the aces.
I fuck with that. I like the aces,
and I got the aces, and I got the fever.
You can't. I ain't gonna lie. Unless you have a team already, you almost can't hate the aces. Boy, the aces, yeah, they like that.
Aces is great for everything. Right, it's great. But I love the aces. But the fever, I mean, I'm riding on my dog. And so y'all know, ain't no bandwagon. I'm coming in, and it's just they suck. So when they start being on fire and they start making some good trades and some good moves, I don't want y'all to be, oh, y'all you like the fever now because Clark and they popping. No, I've been here. Day one. We here.
Oh, and since we're on this, I just want to make this. I know we on Twitter. It's a lot of jokey jokes, but I want y'all to know, because again, y'all come here to learn some stuff sometimes, and we share. The WNBA was already gonna have charter flights. Caitlin Clark didn't bring that with her. That was already in. They already written that down in the contract. It was coming. She came at the great time because, again, in case you don't know, women basketball players have to stay all 4 years in college. You ain't know none of that. What Bronny doing, ain't none of that. What LeBron doing for show, with no college, you can't do that. You got to play all 4 years. I mean, or at least I think it's like 3 years out of high school or something. So again, if you're that long, you basically played the whole time. So, but the charter flights is already coming. Again, there's only 12 teams there. Finally worked with the CBA between contracts and stuff, but how they was gonna get those. Again, part of the problem with the WNBA was travel. It was like, well, they are on buses still, which is crazy because every other sport in this country was getting on the planes, even baseball, and they travel every damn day. So we got that fixed situated. But again, don't be giving Caitlin Clark, she a talent, but don't be giving credit where credit ain't due. W did that. She just happened to come along at the right time, and now every flight is chartered. Again, it's only 12 teams, so they did the math. They figured out how to do it. So shout out to the W.
So if you know offhand, for the people that the casuals is joining us, wants to know why they should be watching the WNBA, do you know all 12 teams?
Do I know all 12 teams off the top of my head? Do you want me to just say them?
I mean, you can Google if you know. I'm just saying, I don't know if you do.
I'm pretty sure I do know all 12 teams. See, no, I don't want to say them out loud because I want to forget. I feel hella disrespected because I'm going to forget one because that's Kenny. But for the most part, yeah.
Let's get the people the rundown of what 12 teams they are, and then what city we think should get one. And Golden State just got one, so that's good. Golden State had to get one.
I didn't want to briefly mention because I do know people talking about expansion, but yeah, we'll get to that. I guess I'll do the teams that's already here, and then we can talk about Golden State getting one and whatnot. So I'm gonna do it in order of record right now. The 2024 WNBA. Who do you think on top? The Liberty, of course, New York Liberty. Then you got the Connecticut Sun. You got the Minnesota Lynx. You got Atlanta Dream. You got the Las Vegas Aces, which we mentioned a couple times. Phoenix Mercury, who made me some money last night because I had them to cover the spread. Chicago Sky, that's my team. We 1-1. You got the Dallas Wings. I believe that's how Chicago Sky's actually next game. You got the LA Sparks. Where you think LA is? You got Seattle Storm. Yeah, Seattle still has a basketball team, not the team that they thought they wanted. Indiana Fever 0-4, and under them is the Mystics, because I believe they've lost by more points in their losses. That's the Washington Mystics. Sometimes I forget to say the city because I'm so used to saying the team. And the team you mentioned that they just got a team. It's Golden. I don't know if Golden State is going to be the official city name, but it's the Golden State Valkyrie. Yeah, Valkyrie. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's Golden State, but yeah, you know what I mean. So
yeah, I mean that's where it's going. It's in the Bay.
So Florida doesn't have a team.
No, we used to have the Soul back in the day. They got rid of them when the league wasn't doing too well. But since then, people have made what's the word I'm looking for? Propositions to have like a Central Florida team, but it hasn't happened yet. But I do see, if we're gonna talk about expanding, I could see Florida getting a team.
Florida got to get a team because it's a big city. Like whether it's in Miami and Orlando, it's got to have a team.
I could see it happening. I just don't know the mathematics.
And you
Oh wait,
said
actually, yeah. For now, it is. It says Golden State. Yeah, it says future teams. Golden State Valkyries is going to be San Francisco in the Chase Center. Capacity is 18,000.
and you said Texas does right? Dallas.
Yeah, the Wings. Here's the former teams that used to be cities that used to have teams. Yeah, Charlotte had the Sting, Miami had the Soul, Portland had the Fire, Cleveland had the Rockers, Orlando did have the Miracle. I have to look into that. I never knew that until just now. Houston Comets, and I know Sacramento had the Monarchs. So those used to be sister teams of the Hornets, Heat, Trailblazers, Cavs, Magic, Rocks, and Kings. So back in when they first started trying to do that WNBA, they tried to have every city that had an NBA team.
So I think
every time they expanded.
I think I remember the Sting because Dawn Staley was on that, right?
I believe so.
I think Charlotte should get a team again.
So I think the reason why that didn't work was all those cities I just named besides Sacramento, I believe, were expansion teams. So when they expanded, they tried to expand both leagues. But if you don't know your history, when they first, well, maybe not Orlando too much, but when the Heat first came around, they sucked. So if the Heat sucked, how are y'all gonna get the Heat suck and a WNBA team, whether they were good or not? How are y'all gonna sustain both of those franchises at the same time when the WNBA was really struggling back then? We talking about early 2000s. So again, it's not that it was a bad idea. I do appreciate the effort, but we got to try better. We got a lot more eyes now. We got a lot more infrastructure. Let's keep the 12 teams we got. 13 coming. I don't know how they're gonna work with only an odd number of teams.
I think they should go 14. But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I don't know how that. But I do know like baseball did that similarly too. When they added teams, they added them one by one instead of two at a time. I know hockey adds them two at a time because for that reason they want to keep it even at all times. But I do know. I mean, basketball. When the Heat came in, I think the Jazz. That's when the Jazz came in. I don't remember. But again, we're gonna get to 13. Get that schedule right, but that's in the future. Right now, again, keep watching. The games are good. I've enjoyed the games that I've watched. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I watch every. So I mean, even when the Fever lost, I've watched the Fever play.
And it's only $35 on YouTube TV.
True.
$35 a year. That shit going up. Letting you know now. Once everybody jump on the bandwagon, that price going up. So you better get it right now. I think the 14 team should be Florida. I think they should bring that back. I don't think it's going to be hard to bring that back because we definitely have the arenas for that. And then I think, even though they got eliminated, I think the popularity of Denver is kind of high. And with Colorado,
at the highest. Okay, I'm looking at it now. So at the highest, the W only had 16 teams. So they had 8, they had 10, then they had 16, and then went down to 14, then they went down to 12, and now they're going back to 13. They've had 13 before. They had 13 in 2007. So now they're going to 13. So they're going to try to move up. I can see it working. The San Francisco, the Bay team, Golden State, they get a lot of attention already, and they haven't even started. I think they're gonna get Paige Buckers because they're gonna let the number one pick. So why wouldn't they?
You know, Curry gonna be there.
Of course, he's gonna be involved. So I mean,
two teams I think that they should add is Florida definitely and Denver.
I can see that
because Denver gonna get the crowd hopefully because they fuck with the Nuggets, so they should get one. The last team,
and I mean, it's funny because I'm looking at a map and I know you're not, so it's funny that you basically put one in like the easiest. Like if you look at the map, it's like if you put it in Denver, that covers up a lot of the map. I'm looking at is in gray for everywhere where they don't have a team. So it's a lot of red to the west because you got the Storm up top, and you got the Sparks, Aces, and Mercury not too far from each other. And you got the Dallas team right there, and then on the east you got the Sun and Liberty near each other. That's Connecticut and New York. You got the Mystics. That's Washington. Not too close. You got the Dream for the South. And you got the Sky and the Fever for the North, the Midwest. So I can see you said Florida. That'll give us a little bit more green to the bottom, and then Denver. Actually, you literally, without looking at a map, place them in the perfect place maps wise. I mean,
so I do. You know what I mean? Who would your 16th be? Since you're looking at the map, because now I'm done. I don't know, but I figured Denver, like I said, because the popularity is there now. Had this been like 5-6 years ago, no. But the popularity is there now for Denver. Florida is definitely because Florida has hockey, which they did good until they've been gone. You know, because now it's us New York Rangers. You know what I'm saying? But Florida is good, and especially we got all the Miami teams, the Hurricanes, Dolphins, Heat, Orlando. So that's a no brainer. Who would your 16th be? With the popularity, if you're banking off the popularity off the NBA too, like to carry over. Because I'm not gonna say Utah because Utah did they have a team?
No, No.
All right,
So here's so
I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna
trying
say
to
you,
think.
I'm not gonna say Utah because Utah good. They on the rise, but ain't nobody going there now.
So not with the popularity of the city or the basketball or anything. Just again, mostly looking at a map. If what you did it, so you already added the Bay team, and then we add your Denver team to the west. That's two teams on the west, and we've just added, let's say Orlando team to the east. I think we can low key add like a New Orleans. It's got to be a big city, so a New Orleans or DC already got one. Or like maybe a Carolina, bring back Carolina because that's two Southern teams, but they're both gonna be on the East. Those are my it's either New Orleans or one of the Carolinas, I think, because Carolina do have a hockey team and all that too. So turn those cities, those developing cities, or Houston maybe low key. Houston's a developing city. It's still in Texas, but you can make it on the East, and then you got now you just inputted a rivalry, a Texas rivalry. You just added a team on the East. You added a team in the South, low key. So I can see that.
I like Houston, but let's say we do Charlotte. Would you bring back this thing, or would you just rebrand totally?
I think I just let me see. The Sting I'd bring back because certain teams you can't bring back, like the Aces history includes like the team that used to be in San Antonio's history. The Wings used to be the team that was in Detroit. So like the Connecticut Sun is the team that used to be in Orlando. But the Charlotte Sting, they didn't move. They just folded. So I think you can bring that back completely.
Would you want to though, instead of rebranding?
I mean, I don't know why I failed. I'd have to look into that personally. But if the uniform is fire, that's the biggest thing. Names come with the same uniforms. That's the only reason why you keep the name, really. Otherwise, you just change. Because that's why the Utah Jazz to the Utah Jazz. They know Jazz in Utah. That was from New Orleans, but anybody want to let the Jazz go? They didn't want to be the Utah Mormon. So they're like, we still the Jazz.
I do like the New Orleans and the Hornets thing though. I mean the Houston.
Yes, I mean, those are just places I know. They're big cities, party-ish cities, and they're growing cities. Well, Houston's growing.
I don't like them, but does Boston have a team?
God, I don't know how far Boston and Connecticut are, but I would assume that would be like their closest team. But they don't have one for it. The city in itself now. So that's yeah.
I'm really shocked that Boston doesn't have a team. All right. Well, this is why you should go. Oh, key point. Why should they be watching so we can wrap it up? Why should they be watching for the casual?
Why you should be watching the WNBA. We got new stars literally every year. We got a short amount of teams, small schedule, and it's not hard to follow. It's only 12 teams. The standings up and down. It's 6-6, 6 East, 6 West. There's no funky divisions to get in your way. I don't see why you wouldn't be watching it if you like basketball. And if you are a person looking for a new sport to watch, there you go. If you're a gambler who likes another sport that the books ain't paying enough attention to, I told you the spread was 17.
I don't
for the
like
Suns.
how don't have individual names and
play well, that's a Hard Rock problem. I mean, no, actually, let me correct that. Let me not shut on Hard Rock too much. I think only FanDuel has complete props, not complete, but FanDuel has the most props. Like everyone else, they decide, we'll put out what props we want. But yeah,
I don't like that. I mean, it could be because it's still new and nobody was really jumping on, but I don't like that.
I will say one thing for Hard Rock. They add stuff over time. There was stuff that they didn't have for baseball that they added now. I think like you said, as people pay more attention, people request things, they're going to start giving people more stuff. Because for the most part, you get Clayton Clark points, Asia Wilson points, Brianna Stewart points. You get the big dogs points, and you don't got no unders. Which again, if you would have put money on Clayton Clark under every game, I'm pretty sure it would have hit. Because again, not to be no hater, but they had it at 23 for the first game. She scored 20. That's not a bad scoreline. But why'd you assume she was going to make 20? And the next game she had 9. So again, if they had it, maybe that's what they worried about. They know everyone's going to pay the unders. That's why they only put the overs. I don't know. I don't work for the company. And my friend who worked for Hard Rock recently quit. He said, fuck them. So here we are.
Oh. We're going to have another episode of Be Yourself podcast. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe. But, this was quick for us because we wanted y'all to know why you should watch the WNBA because I don't know what Kenny stands. I mean, obviously, he stands for women stuff because he's here. But as far as me, I'm a girl dad. So I'm very into girl power and girl movement and all that good stuff. But y'all should be supporting. Why not? Like, what else you got to do? Hockey's about to be over. Football's over. Basketball's about to be over. Besides the WNBA, obviously, I'm talking about the NBA about to be over. Baseball's cool. I can't watch it on TV. I can only watch it live. But if you fuck with basketball, why are you not watching? What else you got to do? Give it a chance. You got nothing to say? I'm trying to say more. So you
I'm done. You killing it right now. I didn't say what I had to say. You know, this to be yourself podcast. I got to tell you, like, come on now. Like,
you know what I'm saying, it used to be Kobe. It still is though. Rest in peace, Mamba forever. Then it kind of switched to Curry. Now we're going to Clark and Sabrina. Don't forget Sabrina. But
I ain't gonna lie. It's funny because I'm like right at that age where I could have switched to Curry and it wouldn't have been shameful. But It's always gonna be Kobe. It's always gonna be Kobe. You feel me? Like even when I was liking LeBron when he was on the Heat, I ain't say LeBron when I was shot. It was still Kobe. You feel me? It's always gonna be Kobe.
So before we go, should it be 2 versus 2 next year All-Star, or should it be the defending Curry champion versus Clark?
I think they should do Clark and Sabrina next year if Sabrina keep shooting the way she could shoot.
Versus Curry who?
I don't know.
Clay, it ain't Clay.
If Clay wasn't washed, it would have been the Splash Brothers. I don't know. Dame shoot from distance.
See, I ain't
Dame is one. He washed. I'm saying that as a Heat fan because I know how the people talking. I don't know. Don't do it. I don't want them. Anyways, Sabrina and Clark versus Curry and Dame. I like to see that because Dame got that distance shot. He a nice shooter. He one of the best distance shooters. I think that's another thing we could talk about being not talked about enough. But he on the Bucks now, so kind of fuck him.
Yeah, he should never went to the Bucks. I know he was trying to go to the Heat, but he should never went to the Bucks. But
they try to stifle my dog. You feel me? They wanted to be great. Yeah. You know.
We'll talk about it next time. So appreciate y'all. Hope y'all watch the WNBA. Let us know. Put in the comments what your team is. You know what I'm saying? And like always, be yourself.
Cut through the money, designer the drip. Don't got a cap, I'm as real as it get. Bet on myself.